Welcome back to part 2 of 1 Samuel 3:15. Today we will look at the accent marks, particularly with this verse. So let's read the whole verse and get an overall translation just to get it on the front of our minds for today. Let's read this together. Vayishkav Shemuel ad haboker, vayiftach et daltot beit Adonai, uShemuel yareh mehagid et Hamar'ah el Eli. So that's our reading, and now for a translation, what we get is this: and then Samuel lied down until the morning, and then he opened the doors of the house of the Lord, and we would put a period there, open the doors of the house of the Lord. Now Samuel feared to declare, or feared from declaring. This is an infinitive construct with a min preposition. And it seems odd to us to say feared from declaring. So good English is he feared to declare, or he was afraid to tell the vision, as the direct object here, to Eli. So as always, the first accent that we want to find in the verse is the sof, pasuk, and saluk combo. And then secondly, the athnach. So here are those two. These accents, of course, give us the major breaks in the verse, the end of the sentence at the sof pasuk, and then the middle break at the athnach. Now, if we take away the saluk segment here, we can dive into the athnach segment a bit deeper. Now, the next accent that we want to find within this athnach segment is the near subordinate to the athnach, and it is the tifka here. Remember, the tifka is always one or two words in front of the governing accent, and in this case, it's the second word in front of the athnach that governs it. Now, the next disjunctive accent within the athnach segment is the far subordinate disjunctive, the zakef katon here. Now, I'm going to move the tifka segment, vayiftach, I'm going to move that down to the next line so that the zakef segment can stand alone here. Now, the last disjunctive accent to mark off is the pashta right here. Now, the pashta is the near disjunctive accent for the zakef katon, and here it sets off the subject Samuel and the predicate laid down from the prepositional phrase until morning. So there's our subject and predicate that are set off by the pashta from the prepositional phrase. Notice in the second line here, the tifka also breaks the subject-predicate combination from the direct object et daltot beit Adonai. So from the subject-predicate, he opened, from the direct object is set apart from the tifka. So again, we get a disjunctive break there. The last accents that are in this athnach segment are both conjunctive. We have the mapak here, and then the munach here. The mapak runs the opening predicate into its explicit subject, and then the munach joins the doors et daltot with the house of the Lord in a long construct chain. So these are all conjunctive running into the next words. So with all of this chaos on the screen that we have at the moment, let's try to translate this bad boy. So let's look at this. And Samuel lied down, there's our subject predicate set off together, until the morning. Prepositional phrase. Then we have a hard break with the zakef katon there, and we move into the next vav consecutive clause. And he opened, and then he opened, subject predicate together. Then now we get the direct object, the doors of the house of the Lord. So let's look now at the saluk segment before putting it all together. So let's look here. Now that we have this saluk segment set apart, let's find the near disjunctive accent for this segment, which again is the tifka here. Then the far subordinate disjunctive accent is the zakef katon again. So you're starting to see those patterns, I think. So here, what we get are the breaks at these lines, and we can translate smaller and smaller segments rather than the intimidation of the whole verse. So the translation for the saluk segment would be this: now Samuel feared, or was afraid, Samuel feared to declare the vision to Eli. So again, get those smaller and smaller breaks so that it doesn't seem so intimidating. So that's going to wrap it up for today. And as always, I hope that you're seeing these patterns and the major break sections of the verses. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. And until next time, shalom.